Happy President's Day. The President's Day is actually George Washington's birthday, and he was unanimously chosen to be Commander-in-Chief, unanimously chosen to be the presider over the Constitutional Convention, and was unanimously chosen to be the first President of the United States. When he had the Declaration of Independence read to the troops, July 9th of 1776, he said, "The general hopes and trusts that every officer and man will live and act as becomes a Christian soldier, defending the dearest rights and liberties of his country." At Valley Forge, Washington said, "To the highest glory of patriot, it should be our higher glory to laud the more distinguished character of Christian." When some Indian chiefs brought some of their youths to be trained by Americans, he says, "You do well to wish to learn our arts and way of life, and above all, the religion of Jesus Christ." One of the stories I love the best about George Washington was an artist, Benjamin West, was in England painting a portrait of King George III. And the war had recently ended, and the king asks Benjamin West what this Washington plans on doing now that he has defeated the king's army. Benjamin West said, "They said, Your Highness, that he will return to his farm." The king stops and says, "If he does that, he will truly be the greatest man in the world." You see, kings killed to get power, kings killed to keep power. Washington had the power several times and gave it up. What an example. He said the sword is the last thing to pick up and the first thing to put down. He never had children of his own. He adopted the 2 grandchildren of his wife, Martha, and he said that maybe Providence didn't want to tempt him to create a dynasty. And so he only served 2 terms as president and set the precedent of every succeeding president only serving 2 terms. Until Franklin Roosevelt got elected 4 times, and then they passed the 22nd Amendment limiting a president to 2 terms. A great example, and he knew that he was setting a precedent. Well, in his speech to his troops, he says, "The fate of unborn millions now depends, under God, on the courage of this army." Could we say that today? The fate of the unborn, the babies in the womb, but all the future generations, the fate of unborn millions now depends, under God, on the courage of this army, you and me. Let's remember our first president, George Washington, on President's Day.